Hey there, this is Malorian, and now this is going to be game 3 of the Cry Havoc tournament. And up until this point, I'm doing better than I should. I'm at 2 Massacre wins. It's all looking great for Dwarves, but both of them have been ones where I had massive glaring mistakes, and I need to come back and actually win something legit here. Uh, this next one here, it's called Assault on the Mine, and its whole thing is it's basically a battle for the pass, where normally the two sides are impassable, the long board edges, but this is going to be another one with an attacker defender, and the one behind the defender is going to be solid as well, and they're actually defending a mine. Now, the way that the mine went down kind of changed a little bit. First, it's a 6x6 zone, basically, and first of all, it's supposed to be 18 up, and you had to be 6 inches away from it with all your units. Then, no, that's too close, so pull it back to the back board edge. Then they changed it again, says back up, and you can now have units starting around and all these things. And so I'll say right now, I turned out that I'm the defender. I didn't want to be a defender at the time, but actually looking back, defender was the right thing. The reason why I didn't want to be the defender is the way that it works in the game, where basically if the attacker gets a unit to touch that zone at any point, they get 500 victory points. And I'm up against Bretonnia, which is very fast. I had first thought that I want to be the attacker. I want to shoot them up because, again, the attacker is going to get the first turn, even if they pray. But one of the things I thought too is then I'll have my miners come from behind and get to the mine, but that actually wouldn't be possible because I forgot how that short board edge was going to be impassable. So that's what's going on there. Otherwise, the attacker is, like I said, automatically going to get the first turn. The defender is going to be immune to panic. And then the bonus objectives is that you never want to touch any of those long board edges, be it by fleeing or something like that. You want to destroy 2 units in the same turn, and you also want to have none of your special units destroyed during the game. So there you have it, and it should be a lot of fun. All right, so looking at the board here, you can see my opponent Jordan, great guy to play against, very fun. He normally is always in here for best sport and stuff, and he's a guy who loves his Bretonians, and so far he's been doing really well with them. We can see here what he has in his list is that we actually allowed to have some monsters in our list from the Storm of Magic. So he has a Saber Tusk on either side. Then he has some Knights of the Realm, more Knights of the Realm, and I know he has a Lord there with the Killing Blow. He's also going to have a level 4, a level 2, and the other one. Of course, you have to take your BSB, 2 Trebs, 2 Archers. He has some Grail Knights, and then he also has some Pegasus Knights on the other side. So looking at here, that little zone up in the front is the mine, and I had to decide whether I wanted to try and defend it or just give up on it. And really, I got to pick sides, and I thought this hill would be really nice. So I got to pick this side, and then I found out after that I'd be defender. Now, the reason why this is going to be so hard to defend is because he can vanguard up, he gets first turn, and he can just fly on it and get the 5 points. Now, one of the things I wasn't thinking of is that, hey, why don't you just start a unit right on it? I didn't think that was allowed at first. I wasn't thinking of it. Of course, when I first read over it, you couldn't even start within 6 inches. So it just didn't really cross my mind. But really, against Bretonians, you do not want to be stuck in one spot. And at the end of the day, he can always just fly over and charge from the rear. That thing is wide enough that I can't really cover the whole thing. So I'm basically giving this up, and then I'm going to fight him. Another thing I'm not really liking about my deployment here is this hill. Normally, hills are pretty awesome. I can get good line of sight and all that fun stuff. However, I also would want to castle. And if I go and I castle on one side, this hill is blocking a lot of line of sight. So looking back, I'm already thinking I should have gone and taking the other side. But as it is right now, of course, he also very much out-deployed me. He has more drops compared to me, and you can see he's really pressuring on the left flank. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to swing around with my great weapons, somehow get rid of these Sabertucks and the Pegasus Knights after they do their duty. Miners will come back and hopefully deal with those trebuchets, and yeah, it's just a matter of trying to make up for these 500 points I'm sure to lose. So his first turn, just like I said, he starts the game getting 500 points. And then after his movement, it looks like this. So he has the saber tusk going up on either side. I got lucky and both of his trebuchets scattered off. His magic can't do anything against my magic defense. But yeah, he's definitely looking to set up some supercharges there on my left unit. So on my side, I decided just to back up and try and whittle him down. The great weapons charged, and he fled and got away. You can see there now how that zone is bigger than what my unit is, so I'd have to do some weird, go 7 wide and 7, I don't know. It wouldn't have really worked out. So either way, he gets away. I shoot him up so that I'm trying to get rid of him, but I'm not able to kill the last guy. There's one Pegasus left with 1 wound. Otherwise, my shields move back. I go actually for the Ancient Rune. I almost never go for the Ancient Power on my anvil there, but I go for it, and so I slow down the right unit. That's the scariest one, and I try and kill the dog on the left and fail, but at least both of them will be half speed. I also killed a few knights from shots there as well. However, the bad news is that my left organ gun exploded, so that's never helpful. His next turn here, his Pegasus rallies, and because he's basically fast cav, he can move here back beside me, threatening all my war machines. Of course, I have the saber tusk to deal on both sides. He's still trying to line up his charges there. Again, he has troubles with his trebuchets, either scattering or the right one misfired, and can't shoot this turn or next. So really, I'm getting a lot of luck there so far. But at this point here, I'm going to need to dedicate to start taking some stuff out. So my miners come in, and that's great news. They can get in here and start destroying these trebuchets and get me some points. And otherwise, I move up, and after I shoot up this unit a bit, I use the anvil to charge in here with these shields. Now, he's only going to have 1 rank. He's only going to have a banner. I'm going to have 3 banners, a rank, and a charge, and it'll be great if I can just break these guys right now and, send them away. Worst case scenario, he holds, he flanks, and then I can flank him with my own warriors. Because these little kind of destroyed buildings, we just agreed before that they just be like ruins and dangerous terrain. So they aren't actually protecting his flank right now. So otherwise, after everything was said and done, it looks like this. The great swords moved around. They tried to be a little bit threatening. I really wanted to kill that Pegasus, but yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. I had to leave it to say, well, maybe I'll just kill him in combat type thing. He only has 1 wound. I really want to do the rest to try and kill more knights, but just my war machines aren't doing really that much either. So he decides to charge in here, going to my Grudge Thrower. Normally this would be really bad, but remember he has only 1 wound. Over here, yeah, if it wasn't anything you saw before, I did not break him. His Lord here was just able to do enough wounds from all the other characters. I actually, I believe this was a draw combat, or maybe I even lost. Either way, he did not break, and now he flanked me. So that's bad, but I have enough guys, I'll be steadfast for a while. So otherwise, in his turn, it looks like this. His dogs are zipping around. You can see that little blue marker by me. That's going to be the comet. So that's going to be a scary thing. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. His war machines, I think, double misfired this turn. His Grail Knights wanted to swift reform and move back to get at me, but he failed to swift reform. So now I have kind of like a choice here. I could either go for the juicy rear of those Grail Knights, get a fast kill, and then reform to deal with the knights on the left after, or I can just go straight to that combat. So I have some choices to make. Yeah, but after all these choices, here I am trying to think, either I can go for that 1 charge I need, or maybe I should go for Ancient so I can charge in my great weapons and my miners. Well, it didn't matter because I rolled a 1, so I would have failed either way, and then I rolled another 1, and my anvil's gone. And this is just horrible news because it is key to my strategies. So after everything's said and done, yeah, I don't really get too much else done. I just get kind of ground down. I kill the saber tusk on the right. The one on the left survives with a wound. And yeah, just bad times for Team Dwarves. So on his turn here, then, he is able to go and his comet comes down and kills his little peg knight, which is nice, but also kills the rest of my war machines up on the hill. So yeah, things are just going from bad to worse. And then his trebuchet finally hits and kills all but one miner. It's just, oh man. I mean, here I thought, like, he marched up his Grail Knights and, like, you know what? I don't care. I'll charge them. I got a bunch of great weapons. I'll take this on. But, yeah, now just one miner who luckily passes panic, that's nothing. But you can see there, my opponent was pretty happy with what he did. So otherwise, it looks like this. My warriors on the left are, after the Brett's charge, there's not too much they can do, so he's going to be held down there for a while. I just really need to get those other warriors into them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So on my turn, I'm able to get the long charge into here, and now this is exactly what I needed. I've been taking my lickings this whole game, and what I need here to do now is just really do tons of combat res. He's not able to do very much to me, break both these units, and score tons of points, and I'll be right back in this game. Otherwise, the miner, because now there's only one, was able to charge past the Grails into this trebuchet. And yeah, over here, I was able to kill a couple of knights, but because he killed some of mine, he only lost by 3 or something, and both units held. So that's okay. That's okay. I mean, I still have all of this combat res here. Now I can get some easier stuff by hitting the one mage. But yeah, it really would have been nice to break these guys, or at least one of them this turn. Otherwise, over here, I was able to beat and break the trebuchet. And run it down, I guess. Or maybe they just disappear. I can't remember. But either way, they also panic the archers. So this little lone miner is doing all right. His turn here, he gets revenge and just hits me right on the head with the other stone thrower. Trebuchet, rather. Over here, he kills my cannon. And in combat, I win again. And it's getting hard because his one lord is over there for me to have to do the damage to. But I've now killed the last knight in that unit, got all those points, did a couple of wounds to the little... I can't remember if that's the level 2 or the level 4. But this time he just loses by 1. And again, both units hold. This is like, come on! I just need something here. So at least I'm starting to get some points. But yeah, I just really need these guys to break. Otherwise, I don't know. I think this is now the next round of combat after his turn, where his Grail Knights are going to turn around to look at me, and he just keeps on grinding away, and I just can't break him, and I can't do any wounds to that Lord. And then the Grail Knights come in, and whereas I thought I could grind him down, and eventually he'd fail his panic or something like that, yeah, no such luck. Once these Grails come in, now this is bad news. And this is going to make it even worse because he gets off his spells to debuff me and buff his own guys. And it's all over but the crying. So after the combat, I was able to kill the prophetess. So that's something. And I'm steadfast. So I was able to not break this turn. And then finally in the last combat, he was able to do enough damage here that I broke. Luckily for me, my dwarves were able to outpace his knight somehow, and I could, I saved those points. But yeah, this is just a opportunity lost, and this is the end of the game. So there you go. Now a loss for the dwarves, and this one was just like, ugh. It's one of these things where I had the opportunity, looking back, I could see the mistakes I made with picking sides and with my deployment. There's ways I could have actually defended the mine that I kind of gave up on, that maybe I should have attempted to not give up those 500 points. But the way it actually ended was a major loss for me. So I still get some points. You know, the way it works is for a massacre win, you get 10. So for this major loss, I got 2. I also got one of the other objectives, so that's something. But yeah, definitely a little bit of a stall here and a little problem for the Dwarves. And man, I mean, like I said, I had my chance. I got that charge in there. If you just would have failed some tests, maybe something could happen. And also, it's one of those things where if the anvil wouldn't have exploded, then there's more I could have actually gotten done. You know, if I was able to stop that one spell that mattered, then that, you know, the comet wouldn't have gone and killed everything. Because really after that happened and I lost my anvil, I just couldn't stop magic anymore, right? Because then I was having the +2, no extra dice. It was a little bit of an issue. But yeah, either way, I gotta say, it was a really fun game. You know, Jordan's always a really fun guy to play against. And, you know, hey, I gotta go and cheer on the Bretonnians. You know, if I gotta go down in flames, hopefully it's something that's gonna help him go to the top. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll catch you for game 4. Bye.